listening to the Gulag Podcast with Narrowminds and Jay Stuns.
Alright, Gulag Podcast. I know you're like sitting there, Narrow. There's 2 podcasts today. I go, yeah. I know. It's kind of tough. But we are doing 2 podcasts. Reason why, okay? We need to have continuous content. We had a long break, which, well, I don't know if you want to consider it long, but we had our break from season 1.
People are interested in us.
People are interested, especially in Jay. Look at Jay. Just stare at Jay in his eyes and tell me you wouldn't be interested in like knowing about Jay, right? Take a good look in his eyes and just,
I actually thought I was going to fall asleep right there.
Yeah.
Blame Jay. Already on chat.
No, none of that shit right now.
Blame Jay on chat.
Shut up.
Must have been a good nap. Must have had a good nap. Throws marshmallows at Jay. There we are. Your fan club is here. Your fan club is here.
Can I have some more?
Your fan club is here already. They're throwing marshmallows at you.
Corny joke. Can't help it. Can I have some more?
Jesus Christ.
What happens?
But right now, we earlier we had Obi on talking about his communities. And what we just found out off stream, just literally before we started and we're doing audio checks and video checks, is that the gaming doctor has started her own little fan club here on Twitch already. She's already got her community started. And if you guys don't remember her from season 1, we went over mental health as well as physical health and wellness for streamers. If you have not seen her stuff, she has her own channel, The Gaming Doctor, and it has a 3 in it instead of an E.
The Gaming Doc is in.
The Gaming Doc is in. Make sure you go follow her and Jay. Let me see if I can get her thing in chat, so that way we can her link in chat. Link? Let me find
I got it. I'll do it. You talk. Right. I got it.
So make sure you follow her. Make sure you follow her. If you guys have questions, and here's the thing. People are sometimes afraid to ask questions on here concerning like whether it be mental or physical. I understand, I get it, and that's what HIPAA laws are made for. We're not supposed to be discussing that things, but if you don't want to discuss it and you want to discuss it with her on a one-on-one basis, there it is right there, the Gaming Doc. Message her, whisper her on Twitch, or find her on if you haven't watched the last video, her links on Twitter. You can message her on there and get your information about whatever it is you want to ask her today. If you guys want to ask questions, make sure that you send messages, and we will try to get to them as soon as possible. But we're, again, we have brought the amazing doctor in here to talk to you guys about stuff that's in the community world. We were talking about it earlier with Obi, the toxicity that happens, and Jay has explained it in past communities he's been in, where people just get too toxic. They
become assholes.
There you go. And so the thing is we want to highlight that from your perspective, Doctor. Why does a thing like this, a place that we're in, why does it get so toxic? Like, and Jay explained earlier, my online character, Narrowminds, he's a special guy, right? A total opposite of what I am, but he's a special guy. But I don't create that persona into my Discord, or I don't create that persona into actually when you get to talk to me or meet me, it's not that persona, except for Jay.
Hey, I'm loving Jay's hat. What he's got written on it.
So
I get both sides of the asshole from Narrow.
Usually you have to pay extra. You usually have to pay extra. Anyways,
I didn't think that went through.
But for people that join these communities, especially kids, because you're talking off stream about younger kids that have they have these thoughts in their minds, and you know what, I think a lot of these esports stars and people that they look up to, whether it's Jay or me or whoever, the people that they look up to, have a responsibility not to be like that towards them, or if they join their communities, like, because all these streamers have their discords and they, if they act a certain way or they're very toxic towards people, or as I was talking about earlier, there's just certain communities, like there's gaming communities that play GTA Online RP, where it gets really toxic. So I just want to hear, now that you're getting the full effect of Twitch here, what are your thoughts as far as how we can curb the toxicity, or where does this toxicity come from for these communities, and large, small, and all in between? What can we do to curb it, and where and why is it coming out on such a platform that's supposed to be so positive, and as far as the gaming world and the streaming world is concerned?
Well, I think that really a lot of it is, there's this sort of multi-piece kind of paradigm that's happening, where we've got a tremendously stressful time just in general. And, 2020 has been a dumpster fire. And there's been a lot of people, and as we're coming to the end of it, people are really reaching the end of that patience. Their frustrations are coming out. And either frustration is going to get turned inward, or it's going to get turned outward. Either it becomes a self-destructive way of dealing with things, because it's sort of like, the pain I cause myself is, at least that's something I can control, as opposed to, I feel this helplessness and I'm going to reflect it out because I don't know how to deal with it inside of myself. And especially a lot of the young people, because they will naturally emulate a lot of the behavior that they see around them, especially if they think that that behavior is leading to empowerment. It's like the really, toxic type of, folks who are, on Twitch, on Twitter, and on YouTube. You find that those who are really exerting this sort of pseudo alpha type of mentality, they seem to be more powerful because they have that aggressive piece. So people want to feel that sense of power, so they emulate that behavior, even if it's a negative behavior. And at the same time, we are pack animals. Human beings are pack animals. We want to fit in. We want to be a part. We want to be respected by our peers. And because there is already so much anger that's out there, it turns into a situation, well, the angriest person wins. The angriest person is the strongest person. And at the same time, anything that would be considered soft, anything that would be considered, sort of on the weaker side, is viewed as, something to be avoided. And often being in touch with our feelings, being compassionate to other people, showing that sensitive side, allowing other people to see our weakness, is viewed as a bad thing, because that means you're not being strong. So, and in the, as I mentioned, before we started up, I've started developing, an interesting little community. And these all seem to be younger people. And they are, while they do their kind of little trash talk between each other, still they're drawn to something that they feel that they can be safe with. And probably because I'm so much older, it kind of comes across as sort of a maternal figure. And so they feel safe. If their trash talk gets to be too much, it's like, hey, come on, that wasn't nice. Oh, okay. So they feel safe enough to allow themselves to be passive, to allow themselves to, kind of be in that sort of led position, as opposed to fighting for who's alpha. So I think that probably encouraging people to, one, step away from the news, step away from those things. It's like if there's any time to throw yourself into a game, it's now. And also to be able to feel comfortable within themselves. If somebody says something that is bothering, to say, it's like, hey, that wasn't cool. You don't need to go to escalate to their level. And also it's important for that to be supported by other people. It's like, what, that wasn't cool. Hey, that's not necessary. And while there's trash talking is a natural part of it, especially with friends, especially, when you're in and also when you are older, there's that difference between the young mentality and, those of us who are, older than that, because we have a natural ability to, it's like, okay, we're not going to take it too seriously. It's not going to be, that, oh my God, I'm so upset.
I'm going to tell your mom.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm going to get my big brother, that type of thing. So there's more security within ourselves because it's like, what, ultimately it really doesn't matter. This is just some jerk online. But for younger minds and, those who have not had the life experience, not to take it personally, they take it personally, they internalize it, and then they don't feel any other recourse but to become that, because that's the only way they can feel strong, which really deep down, most of them don't. So the idea of creating communities and, and after you had talked to me about the stresses that were within a lot of these gaming communities, and they need some place where they can go, where they can talk about stuff. And, that's really why I started doing what I do. And I think that it is more the exception than the rule, but it's the loud exception. Probably the vast majority of gamers, are able to manage it and able to manage what's going on and handle their stresses. But then, they're the ones who are not handling it really are obvious. And they have a tendency to drag other people with them. It's like, you get one asshole in a game and suddenly you've got 5 assholes in a game because that person has just, or in a stream, because that one person has triggered everybody else to the point of, well, I'm going to go to their level. So the idea that people can feel like, what, I can tell you that I don't agree with what you're saying. And at the same time, I don't have to become you in order to do it. I can still enjoy my game. I can still enjoy this. And ultimately, the moderator will ban them. And there needs to be that level of, control, and especially among the moderators. They've got to set a firm line and they've got to hold it. And, I've been going around and, listening to streams and listening to gaming and, just kind of checking out, a lot of different types of streams. And, it's almost like you can tell the ones that have a tendency to be stricter or the ones who, will kind of let things go. But when you let stuff go, it escalates and it can escalate quickly. And then I think the moderator feels kind of helpless because it's like, okay, now instead of having one person to deal with, I've got 5. But if I ban them all, there's going to be nobody here.
I welcome it.
Jay's like, bring it.
Jay loves.
Like today, when we were filming before, some guy came, 3 people just showed up out of nowhere, and they were like, "Oh, one guy said, 13 viewers for this shit. Who the hell enjoys watching this stuff?" Ban. The 2 other guys acting like they would come somewhat cool or whatever, but like within 2 minutes they all left too. I was like, all right, my job's done.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Becca.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key is that boundaries are set, boundaries are held, and once people understand that, they'll usually go along with it because there is that instinct to follow the strongest energy. And if that strongest energy is disruptive, that's the way it's going to go. If that strongest energy is solid, balanced, and, it's like, okay, we're all here to have fun, but, we're not going to let things get stupid, then that's the way that the energy will go. And, when you have really good communities that are built on that foundation, I mean, it's easier to start off hard and then relax than to start off relaxed and then try to get control. because then you're going to have somebody come in who has a stronger personality. And when you add to it, like I said, all the stuff that's going on, all of the fear that people are feeling, we just went through the fire up here. And in fact, we had another fire this morning, a house caught on fire. And it's like, it's this whole PTSD thing, because once any of us hear sirens, we all start to freak out and head for our cars. And, and it was terrifying to have to, just uproot. And it's like, okay, you've got 30 minutes to get out. We thought it was safe. It's not safe. So there's a lot of people who are carrying a lot of trauma, a lot of PTSD from this year. And as the year closes, people have reached saturation, and the crazy train is just pulling into, the main station at the beginning of next month. So between now and the beginning of next month, things are going to go nuts. And people, it's being able to give them options, healthy options for utilizing gaming as a wonderful diversion from it, and to be able to keep them feeling safe and in a positive mental state while they're gaming. So I would say that, it really is, the community is at the heart of it. And the community will follow the leadership of the community.
Yeah, I think it's all about the people that you get in the community too. Because I know, like, with me, when I join a community, you get two types of energy from me. You get the guy who's always willing to help out and do whatever he can to help people out. But then, for lack of a better term, you get the dick. And this is where, like, if you want to come in and start some shit, I'll handle it. I'll get you out real quick. I'll do what I got to do. So, it definitely depends on the type of people that you have in a community where if it's going to be run successfully or not. And it obviously starts with the leader of the community, but it trickles down to the last person that winds up joining. It could be the newest person ever. If they're toxic, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, one toxic person can trigger, if they're a strong enough personality, they can trigger people who normally aren't that way. And all of a sudden you'll start kind of, seeing that start to build up. And it's like, wait a minute. What happened? We're all friends here. Why is this going on? And there's that one guy who just like, okay, you don't need to be here anymore.
Yeah. And Jay's the banhammer. His banhammer is,
I'm not just a banhammer, dude. I'm the one that brings it all out, because I'm the one that handles it even when people tell me not to. Like, if somebody steps out of their means, I will literally pull somebody aside, like, dude, shut the fuck up. And if they want to cause an issue, guess what? We'll see what happens. But, I've had people tell me that it's been a competition where I've won the competition because I'm still a part of the community and they're not. Like, It's not a competition. I'm just doing the right thing. So if you want to sit there and tell me I won, okay. Thank you.
Well,
you can send me my medal in the mail if you want, but I'll probably just throw it right in the garbage.
Yeah. But see, you set boundaries and you hold them because, see, that's a part of your integrity. It's like, for you not to be that would go against your integrity. Yep. And by holding that, you influence people around you to go, oh, okay, yeah, that isn't cool. That's not okay. Because the last thing that somebody who wants to instigate something, the last thing they want to face is the whole group of people going, hey, you know what? We don't need you here. You don't have the power to take over, because, they want to take over.
Mm-hmm. And should parents...
You won't take over on my watch. You hear me?
Yeah. Not on his watch. Should parents... I think a lot of parents don't have a clear understanding.
Watch your kids.
Of what Twitch is.
Can't be on Twitch or Discord, damn it.
Right? A lot of parents don't have any idea what Twitch is and what Discord is. Should they really educate themselves to positively reinforce what these kids are doing? And like we're talking about off stream, there's an age limit on these platforms. 13 years old is the age limit they're supposed to. And there's exceptions. If the parent streams with a kid, there's a 6-year-old kid that is one of the top killers on Warzone. Mind you, he's 6 years old, but he plays with his dad. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They're allowed to do that. and their dad
has ownership of the channel.
Yeah, his dad has ownership of the channel, but the kid is allowed to be there to play and be on stream because the parents is there. Do parents need to get more involved and understand this world that we're in? This is a whole different world. This is not what we had back in the day with AOL, which was a little different and was actually
ASL chat rooms.
Yeah,
chat rooms.
Which is a little bit more scarier because you didn't know who the person was. You didn't have a clear definition or a face on who the person was. And here it's a little bit more. It's constructed a little better over here. The structure is a little bit better over here. But still, should parents have a clear understanding of what Twitch is, the vulnerabilities on Twitch and Discord, because on Discord it is kind of faceless. What's on Discord? What should they understand, and do they need to better understand what this realm is, this world that we're in?
Absolutely. And I mean, just gaming across the board. The idea that when my sons, about 1 million years ago, were teenagers, and, when they started doing their gaming, I went in, I sat with them for the gaming. I made sure that, it's like, but it wasn't like, hey, I'm watching you. It was like, hey, this is cool looking. What's that? What's that? What's that? And so as their friends would come over, they were accustomed to me, it's like I'd sit in and watch them game. I mean, granted, they felt like they couldn't curse, but other than that, they were that idea of the fact that I cared about what they were doing, but I wasn't judging it. And a lot of times parents will go into that place of judging it. It's like, get off that game. You should be doing something better with your life, or, being more constructive or whatever. But this is the world. And especially now, this is the social interaction. A lot of kids are still not back in school, so they're missing that vital part of their interaction. And parents would really be very well served to understand that, it's not all black and white. It's not like either good or bad. There is an amazing opportunity for young people to get to know a lot of things and interact with a lot of people. And there are also those who are dangerous out there. And if they can involve themselves, if they can understand what Twitch is and really participate in it, Discord, whatever it is that their kids are doing, for them to be able to show an interest in it, to not judge it, and to say, it's like, oh, well, okay, and in fact, it was watching my son's game that got me into gaming. So the idea that this could be an excellent bonding opportunity, but I do believe the ultimate responsibility lies with the parents, because, Twitch, the moderators can only moderate so far. And if the parent is letting the kid it's like, yeah, go ahead, create an account. Go ahead, lie about your age. Go ahead, because that way you're not bothering me. The parents do need to be responsible for understanding the world that their kids are in, and both the light side of it and the shadow side of it. Because then that way, if something comes up, if something becomes inappropriate, then that means that their kid does not have a problem going to them and saying, hey, this thing happened, or this person said this thing. And, you, as opposed to saying, well, now, it's like there are bad people on gaming, so you don't get to game. It's like, no, this is important, and it can be kept safe, and it can be an excellent opportunity for, young people and their parents to really have a great bonding experience. But there is that regulatory piece that is the parents' responsibility, and they should want to do it. They should want to know about what it is their kids are interested in, because, I mean, who knows? Maybe they want to make a career of it. So by doing that, by being supportive, but still providing boundaries, I think that it is, that would be the perfect solution, and actually would probably offset a lot of the aggression that may be being shown if the parents were in there, if they're in the room with them going, it's like, they see it escalating. It's like, hey, what's going on over there? You all right? You doing good? So I totally agree. I think that it's an opportunity and it is a responsibility of the parents to step in and find out what it is that their kids are excited about and why, and to be able to encourage it for the healthy parts of it, and step in for the not so healthy parts.
And how much do you think is the responsibility of a company like Twitch, of a company like YouTube? Because here's the thing, like when we look at the terms of service, we look at the different guidelines that are on there that are consistently changing. It's very unbalanced, because certain people can get away with this, but then if somebody else does it, it's the end of the world for them. Certain people can have these accidents of nudity. Other people can't even show can't even take off their coat because it's considered taking off a piece of. What do you think the responsibility is of these companies that are providing these services that we stream on? The guidelines should be a little bit more clearer, because they're not clear, because they're ever changing every day because of stuff that happens. It's ever changing, and it's not necessarily their fault, because this is a very new thing for people to be experiencing, to do the streaming. I mean, not really new, because we used to do online radio, we used to do all this other stuff, and it's stuff that I was involved in. But I mean, it's this type of thing where you're basically getting to see people's lives, not only on this platform, but also on YouTube and Facebook. How much is it their responsibility to say, hey, in order to protect everybody, especially these young kids that are, they're susceptible to getting caught up in all sorts of things, and it's happening all the time. I mean, look at that thing in Georgia. There was a child ring of children being sold.
Yeah, it's hard, and what you said was exactly right. It's like, okay, here's the rules, but they're not going to apply to everybody across the board. And then if something happens, there's this whole reactive knee-jerk type of thing where it's like, oh, well, we've got to do something really aggressive because, we don't want to look like the bad guys. They overcompensate for it, where if they had just enforced the rules in the first place, they wouldn't have that problem. And it is, I'd say that, I mean, in some ways, not so much to defend them, but to understand that most of these companies probably initially never figured out that there would be this huge participation level, that there would be so many people creating YouTube channels, that there would be so many people creating, streaming on Twitch and, and TikTok and all of that stuff. It's sort of like, you expected 20 people to come to the party at your house and 500 show up. You can't really control it. And at the same time, they're the ones who are in charge. So the buck stops there. And I do believe that there should definitely be a way to hold them accountable that is more solid. If people say it's like, hey, you've got this, this streamer or this YouTuber who are just, I mean, that is just toxic. Why are you, not only because the thing is, and I find it fascinating that the channels that are the most toxic, not only are they allowed to exist, they go to the top of the trending page. They're allowed to have advertisers. And it's like, oh my God, this is just hurtful. And it sets a horrible example for young people, because there's young people thinking, oh yeah, I was watching, there was a program that was talking about it. And, it's like there was this kid on Dr. Phil who was outright, he wanted to be like this one big YouTuber and, oh, well, I want to be savage. And he was going around doing horrible things to his family members, which, I mean, I'm sorry. It's like, his mom was saying, it's like, oh, well, he does this and he does that. He does this. It's like, oh, he would not be doing that in my house. because I'd be saying, you know what, boy, you got to sleep sometime. And it's going to go badly because I brought you into the world. I can affect that. So, there is that where you need to be able to have strong boundaries. But, this young person and the YouTuber that they were emulating had absolutely no restrictions and was making millions. So what they're seeing, these kids are not only seeing bad examples, but they're seeing bad examples being rewarded. So, yeah, I think that, all of the platforms, it's like, you know what, you don't need to make up new rules every month. You just need to enforce the rules you had and make those rules clear. Because there seems to be almost like they build in wiggle room. So a lot of what they do, or a lot of the rules are subjective. Yeah. Well, you cannot have an offensive, dialogue or whatever. You can't use offensive terms. It's like, but then who defines it? They don't say what the offensive terms are, but, and I actually had one of my early videos, and I mean, it's like absolutely nothing. There was no copyrighted music. There was nothing. And it came back not suitable for, not suitable for all age groups or something. It's like, excuse me? There was nothing, absolutely nothing. So, I asked for it to be reviewed. But, it was like, who is deciding this? And I know for YouTube, there is no physical person deciding it. It's all based on the algorithm. Yeah. And so you can't get an explanation. You can't necessarily appeal it. And, now it may be a little bit easier. But the whole idea that, and then they've got channels that are nonstop, language, subject matter, all of this other stuff. And there's no problem. And they get rewarded for that. So, it goes back to that. The most aggressive personality, becomes the leader. So, yeah, I think, and I do believe that there should be a body or an agency or something. I mean, I don't know if it's the, like whatever government agency is going to manage that, but somebody needs to have accountability over them. Somebody needs to have accountability over Twitch and over YouTube and even over, Facebook, because it's like the whole idea is that, oh, well, they're self-regulating. No, they're not. And, I understand it's a big job to monitor millions and millions and millions of people, but that's what you're being paid for. That's what you sign on for, and that's your responsibility.
It's true. But, and then on the other flip side of it, there are YouTubers, I don't know if they're able to do that anymore, but there were those YouTubers like, there's that one kid named Jesse, I forgot what he was. He had his whole family in on the bad stuff that he did with his family.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do the parents need to set an understanding to their kids of what reality is versus a character? Jesse is a character. Narrowminds is a character. All those people that were, his whole family was in on it. They were making millions and millions of dollars on YouTube over videos that looked real, but they weren't real at all. They were scripted to the T.
Yeah.
And just like in movies, when back in the day in movies, our parents told us, "Hey, what you're seeing there is not reality." Isn't it a parent's responsibility to also make them understand that not everybody on Twitch, because my character on Twitch is not representative of who I am. Not Dr. Disrespect. I met him in person. He's not. It doesn't represent who he is in real life. He's a family man. He has a kid. He has a wife. Is it partially the parent's responsibility to say, "Hey, take these things, these people with a grain of salt, and understand that your perception of reality needs to be, you need to fine tune it and understand who's being real, and understand and define that between that and scripted characters that are entertaining people, because that's what we're here for. We're here to entertain people."
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I grew up with, the Three Stooges and Laurel and Hardy and the Marx Brothers. And, It's like, the honeymooners. And, and it was like, especially with the Three Stooges, the whole idea was, it's like, okay, you don't do that to each other. You do understand that. And we're like, yeah, you don't hit your buddy in the head with a hammer. Okay, they do that on TV. But there was that whole idea that TV was false, that TV was entertainment. Well, then when the generation of reality TV starts coming in, then the lines start to get blurred. And and absolutely, the parent is the first person to teach a child the difference between reality and fantasy. And, it was just because we knew that anything we saw on, what my dad used to call the idiot box, was that was not real, that life held different consequences. It wasn't like, you watched Wile E. Coyote run off a cliff and keep his legs going, and as long as he didn't look down, he kept going forward. No, if you in real life step off a cliff, you will fall and die. So, it was just sort of a given. And then when it became too real, when people started to lose themselves in the fantasy, and it's like, oh, well, no, this is reality television, which I know that I feel in my heart that there's almost nothing real about any of it.
No, it's all scripted.
It's all scripted. It's all figured out. Yeah, and like you said, it's like you see these, this horrific thing going on a YouTube channel, and it's like, oh my God, how could they do that to these people? It's like, it's all scripted. You honestly think that that's real? You honestly? So, and I think part of the problem is some of the parents were raised in that generation of the reality TV, so their perspective on reality is a little bit off. And so that, the generations that follow them are, it's like it's slightly skewed and slightly more skewed. And bottom line, it's the parent's job to set the foundation for how that child accepts and interacts with the world around them, and how they hold themselves, how they hold others, and how they treat others. And I think that has shifted, that has changed, and it would be really cool if it could change back.
True story. I don't know if you remember this show called Operation Repo.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Lou, the dad, and the daughter. Lou, when I was in stand-up comedy, he had just started stand-up comedy. So me and him did a show at the
Really?
Improv together. And I asked him about that show, his show. Because, I watched it. I was like, this is too much to be a real deal. There's like no way that all this stuff happens. And he told me, yeah, he said, all the stuff scripted because the insurance, in reality, there's cops is the only, and Live PD have been the only two places that have gotten insurance policies to let cameramen and soundmen go on in a real police car and get into real situations, which they don't let them and get into a lot of situations anyways. They're very limited on what they're getting themselves. Yeah. He said, but the insurance company would never let a film crew go with a tow truck company to repossess cars when you have no idea how the people are going to react when you take the cars. So everything was scripted. Everything was based on stuff that happened with false pretenses in some cases. And stuff that happened in his real job, but all that stuff that you saw was fake. And that's and that's the thing is, I think when all of us grew up, we understood the differences because, like you said, your parents told you straight ahead. This TV, what you're seeing on TV, is not necessarily the truth, and there's a lot of falses on there. That are you're not gonna be able to do in real life. Mm-hmm. But now we don't have those kind of boundaries because on YouTube, like me and Jay can create a whole thing and make it look real, right? Yeah. And no one would ever know until we told them the truth. Just like that Jesse kid, he never admitted until until, you know, finally when he wanted to end that series and start something new, is when he admitted that his whole family, including his mom, his grandmother, everybody was in on the fact. Like when they did that whole Thanksgiving thing, when he flipped the tables over, all scripted. When he destroyed his dad's car, all scripted, to make millions and millions of dollars on YouTube. And I think that you're like you said, reality TV is so hard because it's not reality. Everything is scripted. Yeah. The real world was scripted. Everything you see on MTV, scripted. And people don't understand that. People think that the real world and Big Brother was 100% reality. It's not. It's whatever they had scripted, and whoever they wanted to keep was what's going to be there. You know, and I actually got to meet some of the people from the early 90s Real World, when they had LA and when they had Seattle. I got to meet them in what was it? It was in LA. I think it was at the Grammy Awards. I got to meet some of those people from the Real World, and they told me, they said, yeah, that they tell you kind of like, oh, you and you are going to hook up. You and you are going to do this. And, you know, and it wasn't really the reality that everybody perceived it to be on TV, because the producers were always telling you what it is and what you need to do. And I think that's where a lot of these kids, you know, they see other people doing it, and it's especially with pranking their family or doing, you know, they need to put some kind of forewarning stamp on the front of that saying, hey, what we're about to do is all scripted. It's not, you know, it's not necessarily something you should be doing to your parents or whatever. And then here in the Twitch world, you know, people like Dr. Disrespect, people like me we have our character, which sometimes, you know, yeah, we get a little edgy, we get a little racy. But it's mainly for comic relief. It's to make the majority of our audience, which is mostly adults, have a laugh at some of the stuff we say. Because sometimes, like you saw me the other day, I broke character. I broke character twice.
I wonder why.
Because I meant to say stress toy, and
that was. I mean, and it was funny because the look on your face when it hit you, what you said, it was just like, okay, he did not mean to do that.
I did not mean to do it. I meant to say stress toy. I was trying to keep it together, and then I just lost it after that. I was just like, oh my God. I was like, because the way I said it, I was like, yeah, and I said it so confidently. I'm like, yeah, you know, Jay already destroyed 10 sex toys. I mean, and then Jay's like, I did what? I said, well, I meant we
have a problem.
I meant to say stress toys, but sex toys came out instead of stress toys. Yeah, I lost it, and you know,
and you went with it, you know, which was, you know, it was like that whole idea of, but also, and like you said, you know, you're dealing with adults, you're dealing with people who is like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it, but you know, who at least have a reasonable grasp on what is real and what is not, and you know, it's just really, it gets bad because then these young kids who don't have it made clear to them, okay, this is a game, this is not real, and you can still enjoy it and get a lot out of it, but you know that it is not real. You know that these people are, you know, they're performers, they're entertainers, and that, you know, it's meant for a particular maturity level. And it does go back to the parents about them kids understanding that what they see is a real. And it's like years later, I asked my dad, I said, why'd you call the TV an idiot box? And he said, because I always wanted it instilled in you guys that what you saw wasn't real, that what you saw was not to be taken as fact. And, you know, so it was like, oh, okay, he didn't want us to take it seriously.
Yeah, just like WWE. Wrestling.
Oh, God.
When I found out that was scripted, it was a shock of my life. No, because I was 18 years old, right? Got my first job working event security, and one of the things I was assigned to was WWE. And I got to go to the, you know, I got to watch them, and I'm like, what are these guys doing? They're like practicing. Oh, so should I pick you up this way when I slam you? And you know, that's what I walked into, because we were there before anybody else was in there, and I'm just like, wait a minute. So this whole time, I've been watching you guys trying to kick each other's asses. You've been scripting this whole thing, and they were seriously. I was in shock. I got to meet who was it? Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock were practicing in the ring. They were practicing in the ring. You know, talking about how they're going to shoot each other, who's going to shoot who over the ropes, and you know, who's going to come back, and then you know they have a script and they have the lines on there of what they're going to say and who's going to win. It's already scripted, and to me that threw me off. I'm like, this just ruined my whole childhood here, because I always thought when Hulk Hogan and all these people did those things to each other that it was, you know, there was some kind of reality to it, and it wasn't the case. But I look at Twitch now, we're the WWE. We're the in a lot of cases, because you can't really you got to take whatever we say here with a grain of salt. And also because these games that are out now, Call of Duty, highly competitive. I know I'm competitive. I know Jay's competitive in it. It's highly competitive. It's a very competitive video game, and I think that's what brings a lot of anger when things, you know, and it's not necessarily towards the other people. A lot of times the gaming company themselves do not give a proper product anymore. They don't care about the consumer like they did when we were all growing up. And they wanted to make the game perfect before it came out, because you know what? There was no online gaming back then. If the game was not perfect, playing with it, when you're playing with it solo, no one would want to buy the game.
Yeah.
And I think we lost touch with that. We lost touch with that whole thing of making a game that is runnable and perfect, whether it's one person playing or a group of people playing. What they do is they try to make money every year and then shove something out that's halfway produced, which is unfortunately what Activision has come to. They've come to that thing of pulling out a product every year for people, giving it to them halfway done. We're all consistently getting updates, and for me, yeah, and I know for Jay too, you get angry because it's like we're playing this game on stream most of the time. You know, sometimes we're getting our you know, some kind of sponsorship or whatever from these, and a lot of times not. And to give a game that frustrates people to the point where, you know, and that's what happens to us all the time, is we're getting frustrated with these games.
Yeah.
I think that we have more than one group at fault with the way that the toxicity level happens in a lot of these communities, and a lot of streams is because we're very competitive. The game's not run the way it's supposed to, and we kind of get thrown off. But for the younger, you know, group, they just see, unfortunately, that's what they see a lot of times, is us, and you know, is these people who clip some of the stuff that we do or say that causes these issues. But they, you know, just like, you know, mainstream media doesn't like to see the good; they always like to see the bad. So they put us
bad sells.
Yeah, bad sells. That's why a lot of you don't see a streamer, you know, a streamer wins, guys. No, it's all on YouTube. It's streamer fails. Who got banned on Twitch this week
or who didn't get banned on Twitch this week.
Yeah,
you know, rage quits and, you know, and all that stuff. And
those are funny.
I do like watching those. But the thing is that also, you know, it's like games like, you know, Call of Duty and, you know, GTA and, you know, and a lot of the games, they will trigger a chemical adrenal reaction. Now, if somebody is, you know, is more matured, they can be able to go, oh, okay, yes, you know, my adrenaline's kicking up, but they can still not lose their capacity to, you know, kind of gauge it. The problem is that you've got a lot of young people who hormonally, they are at a stage where the hormonal spurts really go all over the place. They cannot, once their adrenaline kicks in, it's like a light switch on or off, as opposed to once you're more matured, your intellect can override a lot of the adrenal reaction. You don't lose your ability to, you know, to focus. But these kids, because chemically they're in a very unstable state. The adrenaline will kick in, the testosterone will kick in, and, females carry testosterone, not as much as males, but we do carry testosterone. And when that kicks up, it goes from like 0 to 10, and then you lose your ability to sort of, it's like, oh, okay, I can no longer put this in perspective. I am now in this moment. I am in predator or prey mode. And so once that adrenaline kicks up, they start to, that aggression comes in, because then it becomes a thing of dominance. And, does that mean that, teenagers shouldn't game, or, preteens shouldn't game? Absolutely not. And it does mean that they need a stronger foundation. They need to be able to have somebody there who is going to be able to help them find balance with it. And they need a format that is willing to take responsibility for, it's like, okay, we're not going to, encourage this by having, it's like, okay, if this particular streamer, even though they're tremendously toxic, but they're making us a lot of ad money, it becomes a choice between, it's like, okay, do you cut your ad money, or do you hold them accountable? Or do you keep rolling in ad money because people want to see this guy go nuts and have that level of aggression? And in watching both of you stream, there is a respectable level of trash talk. And I have never heard either one of you take it to a point where it became personal. It's like just, there's general statements thrown out, but it is not the intention of you guys to hurt. The intention is to entertain. But you guys are capable of knowing within yourselves where to draw the line. And the problem is there's a lot of streamers who don't, for whatever reason, that, they just like, okay, you go in for the kill on somebody's little, fragile little personality. You guys, if you go after somebody, it's someone, you give as good as you get. And, it's not about going after the vulnerable, because, the guys who, it's like, in fact, they will target the vulnerable and, get them all broken up. And, and the other ones, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to worry about them, but this guy, I know I can make cry. So that whole idea is that, you guys, and you're dealing with other adults. So it's like, okay, well, if you can't handle it, go play, whatever, go back to Animal Crossing or something. So, it is an aggressive game. It is an assertive game. It's a competitive game, but you guys keep it at that level. You're not going after kids. And, and that's the difference, because you guys don't lose your ability to choose. You still have that in your mind. Okay, I know who I'm dealing with. So if I'm dealing with an adult who's being a jerk, okay. But, it's like, there's a difference between what you guys do and those who are simply out to take out their frustrations on another human being and to damage them. It's like, you may hurt a feeling or two, but it's not your intention to damage anyone. And unfortunately, there are those who will.
Yeah, Jay hurts my feelings all the time. But it's okay.
It's like we said earlier. It's like we get to the point where we talk shit to each other, but at the same time, when we step it up and we take it a little further than that, and we actually get mad and start talking shit to each other, by tomorrow we're all like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah,
because we can't we take it serious for the time being, then we realize it's stupid.
Yeah, me and Jay literally just banter all the time, but it's nothing. Like, we'll sit there, I'll text him, "Yo, what are you doing?" Or he'll sit there and be like, "Yo, what's going on?" And I'll be like, yeah, this is what we're doing today. What are you in? And he'll be like, "Yeah," or "No, I gotta go do this." That's the way it is. Me, and Pagan too, Pagnus. We get on him all the time. This whole weekend with Cold War, we got on him about, because he was getting mad because me and Jay were sniping. Literally, I have almost 100 clips of me sniping somebody and just destroying people on there. And Pagan's like, "Oh my god, you got 100 of those things?" I go, "Yeah, there's a lot of them. It's gonna make at least 4 montage videos for me to show all those clips of me shooting people.
I'm happy with my one. I don't need any more than that. I don't need to sit there and put out a bunch of videos. Fuck that shit.
Well, hopefully that one where you walk into the lobby and just like they don't realize you're the enemy, that one definitely deserves a honorable mention.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be there will be a bunch of them on there. There will be a bunch of them on there.
Yeah.
But that I mean, communities is a hard thing. And we talked about the kid side, but
we also have to go back with the one thing about the little kids too is like if the parents allow them to say, yeah, go ahead, go make your account on Twitch, go whatever. They don't realize that in allowing the 12-year-olds and younger to do that, they're potentially costing a streamer their income or their job.
Yeah.
Because those 12-year-olds go into that stream and say something and then admit that they're 12 and they do nothing about it, and Twitch finds out, they could potentially be banned.
Yeah.
And that's straight up loss of account, loss of all revenue, everything. Like, you're just erased. All because a 12-year-old's parents couldn't watch them enough to be like, no, you can't do that until you're 13, or at least be sitting with them when they did that.
Yeah. If they sit with them while they're there and interact with it, because not only, and like you said, it protects the streamer, it protects the kid, and it also protects the parent because, if something comes up and, how many cases have we heard where some kid grabs their parent's credit card, they're left alone on Twitch, so they decide to spend a whole bunch of money on their favorite streamer, or, they're dumping money into loot boxes and things like that. Oh my God, they spent all my money. It's like, well, you shouldn't have left your credit card where they could get it. Now, would you? It would have never occurred to me to reach for my parents' credit card. It's like, I want to live. So, that idea that there was accountability. And, it's hard enough to be a parent when you have to, when you get to be the good guy. It's even harder when you have to be the bad guy, when you have to, disappoint your child. And nobody wants to do that. And sometimes, you got to be willing to step up and say, okay, I'm willing to let you be mad at me, but, you're not going to do this until you do that. Or you have abused this privilege and therefore you will lose this privilege for a while. So that sense of accountability that I think that's what bleeds over into gaming, and when you've got somebody who was raised with some good sense, who understands that, it's a privilege, not a right, and that they will be respectful about it. If they're respectful in their everyday world, and if they're expected to be respectful, they tend to translate that into their gaming life. So, it's the kids are responsible, the adults are responsible, the format is responsible, and the advertisers are responsible because, if they're making money off somebody who is being hurtful, then, it's like, okay, well, then you're contributing to that. And, you may end up with a whole bunch of people saying, hey, this streamer did something bad, so if you advertise, I'm not going to, follow that. So, it goes on a lot of different levels. And, that aspect of emotional maturity, because, the further these kids get into this negative, toxic behavior, they're going to turn into negative, toxic adults, and they won't understand that there are boundaries. They won't have that ability to balance. So, I really hope that, folks start taking this seriously, because it's not going away. Gaming is not going away.
Although I have noticed that these, I don't know if they still have those ads up, but Jay, I don't know if you've noticed on my stream, they pre-roll Trojan condoms at the beginning.
I've seen it on a bunch of streams.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's promote responsibility here.
I was sitting there, I was like, well, no, it's.
Let's not forget too. Once Ninja left Twitch to go to the other place, they were pre-rolling people from just chatting on his stream, and one of them happened to be rolling porn at the time, and they were basically showing porn on Ninja's channel, to where he got into a whole fit about it. Like, listen, I've been building this brand for so long, and yes, I left Twitch, but I haven't been gone that long, and you're already showing somebody who's broadcasting porn on my channel. Like, what is going on right now? And,
Yeah.
I mean, but it
basically
was,
the other place got fucked, and, So did the person on Ninja Stream, apparently.
These condoms, yeah. This condom commercial is so hilarious because it shows them all the way, like, it's an air, but, you know, they showed, like, the different sizes of it. I'm just like...
Size, width, material, length, everything.
Yeah, like, seriously. And then it was like a video game inspired condom commercial because it was like, choose one. And I'm like, I go,
that's just in, like, Fun Zone Victory. And
yeah,
like the bed all ruffled up, and it's like Fun Zone Victory. Like
and I'm sitting there, I'm like,
God,
stupid.
I'm like, this is the this is the pre-roll you've chosen. You know, yeah, okay, I get some money from it, but what? Like, why of all the pre-rolls you chose this pre-roll to go on? Not only onto my stream, but I've seen it.
Seen on a lot of streams.
I was just like. All right.
Well, I mean, for them to do that during COVID, it's like, really? You're going to make people feel that much worse about it? You may as well be making...
I saw a meme the other day, and I sent it to Narrow because he was dying. But it basically said, COVID has gotten so bad that when somebody approached the prostitute said, no mask, no ass. I was dying when I was like, are you kidding me? And it just falls in line with everything. It's amazing.
At this point, you may as well be making balloon animals out of them.
I was thinking that. But it might go against
the entire box in one shot.
Yeah, I was thinking
that's a Trojan promotion. What else can you use Trojans for? You can fill them with water and toss them off something. You can make balloon animals.
Water dongs. Throwing water dongs at people.
Yeah.
Do we have something? Trojan?
That's right. We've got your next ad campaign.
Like, come on, Trojan.
What else to do with a Trojan?
Come on, Trojan. Sponsor Jay Stuns right now.
You throwing me out there? All right.
He'll blow up some balloon animals.
Yes, imagine this face. Imagine this face is the face of Trojan.
It is, dude. It's a great box.
Yeah, okay.
We'll have yours pizza flavored.
I'm done with that. Let's do it.
Pizza flavored.
Yeah, what kind of condom you got, Supreme?
Supreme. It's the Stuns.
Meat lovers. It's all about the meat lovers.
Meat lovers Stuns. The Stuns edition from Trojan. And then your face is on there like this.
Then you get the rare vegetarian ones.
Oh, yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah. And you have to have gluten-free.
Yeah, you have to have gluten-free ones.
That's like the ultra thin ones, the gluten-free.
Yeah, the gluten-free, yeah.
Balloon dongers, Pagan. Balloon dongers.
Yes, balloon dongers. First off, pizza flavored Trojans. I'll accept that. Good. Thank you.
Right?
Ding. Number one.
Pizza Hot. Call it Pizza Hot.
This can get interesting.
Pizza Hot.
This can get interesting here.
Yeah, careful, Jay.
Make your nights Pizza Hot.
CJ, you're going to end up on the box.
You are. You are.
Not only am I the box, not only am I the box, I'm the number one user.
Yeah.
That's right, like the old Men's Warehouse. Or no, it was the hair club for men.
Yeah.
I'm not just the president.
I'm a member.
He's not only the president, but he's also a client.
Not only do I like pizza, but so does my member.
Oh,
there's a tagline for you right there.
See, Trojan's going to be on the phone.
I gotta stop. That'll be a fun promotion or a front stop if they'll offer up a stream. Hey guys, use my code, you get 10% off all Trojan condoms.
I have so many things to say right now, says Felicity. I bet you do,
Let him fly, Felicity. Why not?
Let him fly. I mean, okay, so this went from communities to marketing, guys. Trojan, can someone clip this? Trojan,
hit him up
right here. He's right there. Give him a call. He's looking for that pizza. There's pepperoni, meat lovers, vegetarian, gluten free.
That's right.
Variety box.
Not only am I on the box, but you like pizza. I'll be in the box too.
Oh, there you go.
Now see, it's that delivery system.
Let's just say pizza isn't the only thing going in a box tonight.
Oh, that took a hard left turn. And Jay, thank you for that picture in my head.
Yeah. Thanks, Jay.
Extra cheese available.
Well, that's what happens when you don't shower. Anyway.
From under cheese, let's go.
I think the doctor just lost the water that she just drank.
It almost came out of my nose, okay?
Okay,
Oh,
moving
God.
on.
Just remind me not to drink right before you say something.
That happened to Deadeye yesterday too, right? With her tea up. Deadeye yesterday was when remember when she was drinking
I just
tea?
want to point out that is now 4 days in a row that Narrow has cracked and uncontrollably left without helping it.
I can't do it sucks, dude. When you're when you're just you get the zingers in right when they're supposed to.
Just like when I broke him because it's the new superhero coming to town soon, Super Puss.
So
we were talking about how mature people are.
So no. Well, my character, right?
Now, he was talking about yesterday how we were joking around and you almost spit your tea out of your nose because of the stupid shit we were saying.
Well, me and Jay, I think Jay does this on purpose, right? He tries to break my character on purpose. So yeah, I said something because I meant to say that this kid is acting super pussy because he's like just tucked in a corner, just hiding for me and Jay. And me and Jay were
again. Now didn't finish his words and just came out with Super Puss. So
Yes.
Is that a superhero?
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, this MFing super puss son of a, and then Jay goes, I'm sorry,
Is that a superhero?
Is that a superhero? And I'm just like, fuck. He got me. Broke character instantly as soon as he said that because everybody was dying in the lobby. Everybody that was in our chat was sitting there dying. Like
That's my gift. That is my gift. I make everybody laugh, and it just helps. So if I come out with the dumbest shit ever, everybody laughs at it. So I'm okay with it.
See, and they can't break your character because you're just you.
If I crack and start laughing, that's who I am. So
I'm sitting there trying to be. I was like, God damn it, Jay. So 4 days in a row, right? I broke character already.
4 days.
Well, it doesn't really matter here because there's no character.
We're going
here.
for a week. We're going for a week.
Well,
see, and then you need to do a compilation thing on it. Day 1, day 2, day 3.
That's what the first video is. It's me breaking character.
Yeah, the sex toy video. Oh, that was wrong. the video of Narrow claiming sex toys instead of stress toys was number 1.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a.
Yes, I thank God I stopped myself because the sex toy video would have been horrible. Then it was Super Puss. I forgot what last night's was, and then this one was now.
I don't know what last night's. You know me, dude. When I go in my character and I start doing the verbalities,
I think it was like how long can you go with your string of obscenities? Like, well, I can go for a while. I'm like, okay, let's hear it. And he just kept going. And it was just hilarious.
Yeah, I'm on the
Deadite. I'm waiting for it.
Jay.
She's working on a special character for paranormal preschoolers with face rig.
Oh Jesus! There we go. This is gonna get good. Narrow gonna break for sure. Okay. All right. Going back into communities since we're so broken about this pizza.
Brought to you by Trojan.
All right. By the way, now that Jay said that on the podcast, please send a check for $30,000.
I meant the horses. Because, of course, we're not sponsored
Trojan
by that
horses.
place yet. We're not sponsored by that place yet.
Yeah.
Although, like I said, Pizza Hut.
If this happens, dude, like, can someone clip this and can we send this to Trojan?
There's plenty of streamers out there sponsored by Manscaped. Okay.
Oh God, yes.
Wait a minute. How did you know? Oh, I can't officially announce it yet. All right, never mind.
What, you think you're the only streamer I know? Fuck.
No, I was gonna say, how did you know? That's the next deal. Is what I was working with. I was gonna get Manscaped. The Manscaped.
And thank you for that picture in my head.
Yeah. Landscape 3000. Jay needs it more than I do.
You're welcome.
I like how you have it conveniently at your desk. Is this?
Yeah, see, it's like the fact that you have it on hand.
Well, you know, sometimes
You never know when you need a shave.
Yeah, exactly. You never know in the middle of a COD game.
No, because I'm the weirdo that when I shave my face, I still feel like I'm stubbly. So then I start taking this. I just go over what I feel I missed.
Okay, we just
The only problem is that now everybody's gonna see it. But when I'm doing it, I usually sometimes leave my mic unlocked until you hears this. So mine travels. So you look at Narrow's eyes; he's lit up because he recognized the sound. It's like, ooh, playtime.
By the way, T just shot out of Deadite's nose. You're welcome.
Sorry, Deadite.
You see how fast he pulled? I wouldn't say
It was like right there.
pulled it out like a switchblade. It just
Oh, I have one of them too. There you go.
pulled it out like a switchblade. All I got is my nose. All I got is my nose trimmer, nose hair trimmer. That's all I got. This is it.
I don't want to know where you use that,
Dude, on my nose hair, I get really bad allergies. I don't like having long nose hair. Do you know how obnoxious that is when you're sitting there and you look at yourself in the mirror and the nose hair is like
I'm Italian.
literally...
Are you kidding me? I have hair growing everywhere. I think I know.
That's why I can't...
Why is it I do not have anything grooming like immediately near me?
This thing right here.
I got a VR helmet.
There you go. Yeah, no, this is the lifesaver, especially because I have bad allergies. Doc, you know that I have bad allergies. So I gotta if I start feeling the tickles and they start doing
just
this.
for those days when I want a little extra punishment, I got a nice jar of thumbtacks.
Okay.
Wow. And Narrow is now speechless because he's picturing things. You can see he's picturing things.
I got candles. I got a lighter. I got my razor. I'm good to go.
If it gets a gag ball out, we're done. This.
Look, all I'm saying is, if you want a night of like legit fun, right?
Is this going to involve a safety word?
No. All you need.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
And
That's a candle.
And you're good.
So you shave and then wax. Got it.
No. You shave in candlelight.
Shaving candlelight. Is that like I'm going to amuse myself during COVID-19 thing?
100%.
Yeah, he gets his legs up in the air, like the girls do it.
Listen, you don't want that to happen because there ain't no way in hell I'm getting up. Like Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, honestly.
Oh, God.
Got him again.
My God.
This escalated so quickly. What were we talking about?
I don't know.
The record's way too long. You have to know safe.
Oh, God. I have no idea what you're going to even call this.
Chains and whips excite me.
I just want to play... I'm going to get copyrighted, but I just want to play Genuine's Pony right now, and then just have Jay stand up and start dancing.
I'll just sit there and be like this.
Yeah. Oh my God!
I'll even kill my light, make it a little more.
There you go. Get
a
little more candly in
there.
Here.
There you go. Make it more
candly.
He looks like.
Well, see, then you need to tell scary stories or something. You got the candlelight. Ooh.
Yeah, it looks like you're doing scary story time. All you need is a white bathrobe. All you need is a white bathrobe, and then it'll make it.
No, mine's blue. Mine's blue, actually.
Now, unless he's going like Hugh Hefner type of thing.
Yeah, he's got the velvet.
I wish.
He's got the pipe in his mouth and the velvet.
You forgot the girls on each arm there, pal?
Yeah, the smoking jacket. You got to have the smoking jacket.
Hey, whatever
Hugh Hefner.
That's up to you. Hugh Hefner provided his own girls. We're not providing that for you. Come on now. You're asking for too much. Asking for too much now.
I just said you forgot. I didn't say I didn't ask for it. I just said you forgot.
Oh my god! All right, so back to where were we at, dude? I'm just. So
I
lost.
don't know.
We went to.
We're just getting off the little kid topic.
We just like I made a left, Jay made a right. The doc just kept going straight. We're all lost right now.
You made a cul-de-sac when you mentioned me put my legs in the air. Okay.
A cul-de-sac or a coal mine? What?
Coal mine? Fuck. Coal mine? What are you telling me? If I lift my leg on my head, you gonna pull out a diamond or some shit? Like what the fuck?
Well, if you squeeze hard enough, I'm pretty sure you will.
No, there'd have to be coal up there for me to squeeze hard enough.
Oh God!
It's not like you randomly produce a piece of coal and then squeeze and a diamond comes out.
You never know.
Hold on, guys. I'm a little short of money this month. I gotta go make some coal.
Oh God! Just the phrase "canary in a coal mine" came up.
That poor canary.
See, and this is why I make an ass out of myself, because I'm okay with it.
That poor canary.
Oh God! Yeah, I'm just gonna leave the water to the side. I'm not risking it. I don't want to ruin my monitor.
Go ahead, Narrow. It's time to get back in character. It ain't gonna work.
I'm not even in character. I'm not doing my unusual stream. I'm just trying to USA.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because I'm. He said it.
See?
Okay.
Look at this.
Oh, we're doing the pencil thing?
Oh my God, where is that? I don't know if the pen will do it.
See, the pen will do it.
See, the pen works.
We're all doing rubber pencils.
Oh my God.
Oh, to Miss Sweet Tea.
All right. Getting back to communities.
Yes.
After we went on this long.
After we took this off ramp.
Yeah, we took the
wrong
off
just edit
ramp.
that whole thing out. It's fine.
No, it's fine. It's great. It's great content.
We'll just edit that whole thing out.
Nah,
we'll keep that. With communities, Doc, you know, a lot of people are involved in different communities, and a lot of them are really like toxic communities, and we talked about that a little bit earlier. But now for the adult side, like, you know, we've expressed Jay's been in communities where he's had to leave. I've been in communities where I've had to leave because the people are just, you know,
assholes.
They're just really toxic. They'll smile at you in front of you and act like you guys are the best friends in the world, and then at the end of the day, they'll stab you in the back.
It's like a catfish. It's like a catfish. Yeah. They'll tell you all these good things, like, "Oh, we're this, we're this, we're this." You just like you fall in love with the concept, and then when you get there, it's just like this humpback, weird-looking Notre Dame person, and you're like, ugh! And you're like, "I don't want to be a part of this no more."
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what it is. I mean, you know, you fall in love with the idea of it, but when it comes to actually doing it, it doesn't work. And I've been in communities where it's just been chill, nothing's going on. I've been one where there's a lot of people are toxic. I'm in two of them right now that I have not had any issues whatsoever with anybody in it. I'm perfectly happy to be in those two group communities. Like I said earlier, I am in 43 total Discords. I'm in 40 personals and 3 groups. And I somehow managed to be a part of all of them. And the ones that I haven't, I've left because that's been another 20. So I used to be in 63 Discords.